Welcome to Not Safe for Work Magic. I'm your host, Gravity Groove, and today we need to talk about the cat problem. So, if you go to MTG Goldfish and you check out decks and you check out the meta share estimate, you'll notice that Jund Sacrifice is almost 35% of the entire meta. And we're going to talk right now about why. The deck has always been very powerful. It's just that so long as the agent Lucas Shell existed, it couldn't really get online and be abused to its fullest degree. But now the deck is extremely out of control, and we need to address that problem. So where do we start here? Okay, let's start with Claim the Firstborn. Claim the Firstborn currently takes a 6/6 Uro, hits your opponent with it, draws you a card and gains you 3 life, and then you kill it for 1 mana. Try to process that as a Magic player if you've played this game for any amount of time, that Claim the Firstborn in Standard is better than Fatal Push. Okay, just let that sink in. Think about it. Let it sink in. Claim the Firstborn is better than Fatal Push. Okay, let's talk about the other things it steals. It steals an XX Hydroid Krasis, hits your opponent, and then kills it for 1 mana. It takes a Nissa land, and assuming that when the person played Nissa out, because it's for turn 4 or turn 5, you've already got a Woe Strider or a Mayhem Devil. For 1 mana, you take their Nissa land, and then you kill Nissa. And you destroy the land. So it's a Stone Rain and a Hero's Downfall for 1 mana. Does that seem reasonable to you? Does that seem fair to you? Okay. So Claim the Firstborn, obviously a huge problem. The fact that Cauldron Familiar allows them to essentially block and trade favorably with all manner of aggro is a huge problem. The fact that cats are largely immortal once the witch is online and they just ping you down and you have virtually no recourse. As you've seen on this show, the only recourse you have is Cry the Carnarium. And when a deck is so powerful and does something so powerful that it forces you to only have 1 card you can play to interact with the problem, that's a real big problem. And that's not being addressed. Beyond Cauldron Cat and Claim the Firstborn, we also have the problem of the Bolas Citadel itself. Now, I've gone from 26 life to 0 on turn 5 in Standard. Let me tell you how. My opponent cast Citadel early off of Goose mana, and then proceeded to storm off, casting Cats and dealing 1 each time, and then casting Ovens and then dealing more, but not before they got Mayhem Devil, sacrificed a food so they could keep going, and then sacrificed the Cats twice and the food twice, dealing the 6 damage they needed, and then activating Bolas Citadel, dealing 10 damage off the Mayhem Devil and 10 off the Citadel, to deal 26 damage to me on turn 5 in Standard. Yeah, that seems perfectly as intended for Standard, right? There are so many cool creatures and so many interesting spells and so many things you could be doing in Standard, but not so long as this shit exists, you can't fucking do anything. And it's so much of the meta share that I've played 12 or 13 games in the last 2 days, which is too fucking many, and 8 of them have been Jund Sacrifice. 8. So somewhere around 66% of my matches have been against this fucking deck. So we've understood that Wizards doesn't seem to listen at least they don't act quickly. What I would recommend doing is going to the website and sending in a report. You can do that and choose feedback as the thing you want to report. So you go to the MTG Arena-support website. You click the little thing here, and it takes you to where you submit a request. You choose feedback. You can choose neutral or negative. You choose Magic Arena as the brand or product you're specifying, and then you talk to them a little bit in the subject line about how being able to deal 26 to someone on turn 5 in Standard through an unstoppable wall of blockers while also making all the creatures they play invalid is a fucking problem. Claim the Firstborn does basically the same thing Agent of Treachery did, and that it takes your ability to play with your permanents away from you. You can't play any creature deck that you would think would be reasonable, and it basically overrides all aggro strategies because it gains life while chipping your opponent's creatures away. So send a report in, tell them you think this is bullshit, tell them they need to make some cuts or bans. They acted relatively quickly today in an emergency suspension of Winota in Historic because they finally understand that card is fucked up. And they need to do the same thing now to try to salvage the few months we have of Standard. So please consider doing that, and we're gonna play a few games with our old boring Sultai deck, and we're inevitably gonna run into the fucking Cat Menace, and you're gonna see all the things I've talked about illustrated. This has changed slightly over the last couple days. We are trying out a couple misses in here, and to do that we shaved an Extinction Event and an Eat. We also shaved 2 Tyrant Scorns down to put 2 Cries in the main, again because we're facing cats often. We're still trying Unmoored Ego because naming Citadel is one of the more reasonable things you can do to at least stop that combo kill from happening. You can't really hold up Negate and Neutralize forever because they board in 4 Duresses, and I've often had my Negate taken, followed immediately by a Citadel kill. We also have a Shifting Ceratops and Questing Beast in here. This Questing Beast can come in against the cat deck because most of their creatures can't block it, and you're trying to put them on a clock and reduce their life total. You also have a Shifting Ceratops, and these all come in against the Bant Planeswalker deck that's essentially, they understand that you can't play creatures. So the only creature in their deck is Uro and 20 Planeswalkers. It's Teferi, Tamio, Nissa, and Narset. Sometimes Elspeth. There you go. We're gonna play a few here, and we're probably not going for Mythic this season, based on how incredibly unpleasant playing against these cat matchups has been. I can't see myself continuing to try to grind it out. Also, we're 10 days in, and I've played quite a bit, and I've made absolutely zero progress. I think it may be that I'm just trying to force playing Sultai when I should just probably be playing the best deck, which is Junk Sacrifice, but we don't do that on this channel. We try to actually play Magic as intended and hard head our way through problems that we should probably not hard head our way through. Yorion, seeing Yorion is a little unusual. We don't see Yorion as much in the format these days. This could actually be an attempt at Yorion Luca Dream Trawler, which we are at least moderately set up for. Okay, so this is clearly some kind of brew, because this is not in any list. So we'll see how this goes. This may not be a particularly instructive match. Probably going to get counterspelled. Mystic Disputed, I assume. So this is a Luca deck. This will be the first time I've played against the Luca deck since I started in the new band format. They chose not to cast Dispute? They chose not to cast Dispute. Strange. I'll leave that because we actually do want one more land, and then I'll incredibly minutely raise the odds of us getting that land. So this is inevitably the let's fetch the Dream Trawler pile, right? Is this Esper? This could be Esper. It could be running the Auras as a way to play into Doom Foretold, which is interesting. We did not get the land we wanted for Christmas. There's Doom Foretold. Casualties of War is great. We're going to have to do nothing for another turn, though. I'm not sure if we can afford to do that. We're going to wait for the Yorion and then Cry so we can get all the tokens. I think we're going to have to flush the Casualties of War. Really? Huh. Oh, I needed to get a forest there. That was a punt. Needed to get a forest there. That was a big punt. Are we disconnecting, or is our opponent stroking out? We are not disconnected. Okay, so not sure what's happening. Okay. Okay, Aura's decent. Gives us something to do. Try to find that additional green mana. Well, that's pretty great. Okay, we get to casualties next turn, and this should be really good. So if he Yorions, we're just going to casualties and sweep up the Yorion and some permanents. And then we can Cry to clean up the tokens next turn. Currently behind a dream trawler, if they have one. Well, that's not great. Okay, so doing a big crisis to try to find the casualties. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that was a spectacular miss, wasn't it? Bringing back the Orion. Doesn't give them a ton of value right now. Yeah, we'll keep the Jelly Boy. Alright. Now they're getting a bit more value out of it. I'd be surprised if they didn't shatter here. Wow. So we definitely have a big problem now. I don't think there's any land left for us to fetch with Fable Passage. So... I think we have 8 now. There's our casualties of war. Now they probably shatter here. We draw a card, they draw a card. No harm, no foul. Then we casualty of war, kill Shark Typhoon and Castle Ardenvale. And we have another giant Crisis Boy to dig to our Uro. That should be it. Okay. Or we draw Extinction Event or lose. Even, odd, even. Okay. So we need Extinction Event or lose. Did not expect a Dance of the Manse for 8 bajillion. But, you know. We need 4 mana, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we can do 7. Well, 5 actually. That's no Extinction Event. Well, you know, I wouldn't have thought my old build that had Nightmare in it, Elspeth's Nightmare in it, was the superior build, but boy, is it looking like it is right now. That was a shit show. Well, we didn't draw very aggressively. Cry doesn't seem good. These seem good. Tyrant Scorn also doesn't seem very good. Probably want some negates to stop that from happening again. Huh. Because their deck is jank, I don't know what the pivotal pieces are, so I'm gonna forego Unmoored Ego. I mean, they might only have one Dance of the Manse in the whole deck, which makes this a particularly bad name. We could bring another Extinction event in the event that they are a Dream Trawler deck. And just cut a Spiral. This is actually a deck where Thought Distortion would be quite good, but we cut that from the sideboard as well. Because it's bad against Cat. Shit, we're not hitting our land. Well, it's not really going to matter what we do if we don't hit land. Sure. Engineer infinite counter spells, not super fun for us. If we don't outland this next turn, this game's probably over. What a good opening hand to keep, too. Spiral, Thought Erasure, and Uro. And 3 mana. And then to just brick for 4 turns. 3 land, 11 cards. Odds of that are 10%. Did he just play Thief of Sanity on me? Okay. We're just gonna move on here. Hope we actually face a meta deck and not some undistinguishable pile of jank, but because we're in Platinum, that's probably what's gonna happen. I swear, every time I try to play a deck and demonstrate a particular matchup problem, I end up playing against random garbage, which is irritating. Okay. like Reclamation. So we bring in our negates against this. Bring out our cries, obviously. That's Wilderness Reclamation on turn 3 for those of you following at home. With the Scry Castle to break it. That's kind of perfect. That's exactly how we want this matchup to go. We have a lot of useless removal in our hand right now, though. A lot of useless removal in our hand. I think we might be bouncing the Crisis just to recast it and draw a bunch. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What could they do to interrupt our bounce? I guess we'll save it. Sure. Okay. That sucks. Let's play this out to have some kind of clock. A lot of bricks in the deck right now. Expecting to see a big shark. Okay. Kind of surprising. More bricks. Two explosions down. Really at the mercy of our top decks here. Crisis is pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Counterspell it or don't, I don't care. What's the prototypical version of this deck have in it? Three Brazen Borrowers. 1 to 3 Brazen Borrowers. 3 Uros. Really all in on Shark Typhoon or Expansion Explosion to win. Their sideboard, they're usually bringing the Night Pack Ambusher dude. Just you want to keep some removal in. Okay, so I mean, he has to have something going on here, right? Probably Brazen Borrower. Crazy that we haven't found an Oro since the at all, really. Really, he's just having to chump. Yeah. No such luck to get the Rider E to Extinction. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sure. So he could technically live with a Brazen Borrower on the 8/8 and then flashing it into block going to 1. Oh. I guess Reclamation would win here too. Because he'd be able to untap the Blast Zone and we'd be in big trouble. God damn it. Of course. This is why we can't have nice things. So we have 1 Jelly Boy remaining in the deck and 4 Uros. Ooh, he's explosioning as well? Well, we're probably just dead then. Draw your entire deck and kill both my threats. That was the 3rd one though. So he does only have 1 left. Can we get on with it, please? Like, why are you wasting my time? We understand the sequence that's going to occur here. Being a jerk-off and wasting my time is not effective. To extinction a couple turns ago would have won me the game. Yeah. At least now we have a way through a shark. But not through two sharks. Or more than two sharks. You're gonna see a big Thassus here? Not yet. Two casualties of war left. Bottom, please. That's probably not good. So our outs are Hydroid Crisis, Casualties of War. That's our primary outs here. The Shark Typhoon is just going to provide infinite blockers. Hoping he doesn't have another Aether Gust, but he probably does. fantastic. Just 3 land in a row. Very good. Remember how we had him at 5 hit points once? Now he's at 17 and we basically can't win. Because he can expansion explosion us for infinity. Yeah. Good stuff.
I will aid you. Rise, my elemental friend.
So if I kill the reclamation,
do not test me.
then I guess he doesn't have enough to expansion explosion me out. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Is that good enough? Yeah, I think we can do better. God damn it, he hit the last fucking reclamation! Ugh!
wary of the ground you walk on.
Okay, so 1, 2. I think we're just going for what? 10 draws us 5 cards, so 12. And we have 1, 2. We have enough for this? Alright. Let's see if this is enough. There needs to be like a red aura that says your opponent cannot gain life. Something hard to remove that like makes 2 1/1s and just stays in play. It says your opponent cannot gain life. Explosion for 1, 2, 3, 4, not nearly enough to matter. Yep. Okay, so now we bring in Unmoored Ego. We bring in Negate. We leave in E to Extinction, we leave in Murderous Rider, we leave in a couple Extinction events because we expect they'll bring in the Death Doggo. So they like the idea of having more instant speed answers to the Death Doggo. Tyrant's Scorn does not kill the Death Doggo, so away it goes. Can cut a land on the draw. Shifting Ceratops, let's see. They can't counter it. They have to spend multiple cards to burn it. They can't block it with Shark Typhoon. What do we leave on the cutting room floor for it, though? Maybe Extinction Event isn't good enough. Yeah, I really want to keep one of them. We'll just trim some stuff, I guess. Trim a Thought Erasure. Trim a Negate. I mean, we'll need these less if Unmoored Ego sticks. I think the first thing you name is probably Reclamation, and the second thing you name is probably Explosion, but those could be inverted. Reclamation feeds 2 win conditions, and that's Big Sharks and the Big Explosion. Whereas just taking those individually doesn't necessarily shut off the utility of Reclamation. As we've seen, Reclamation lets them scry ad infinitum if you leave it on the field and they get the blue land, which I believe they run 3 of. This is a decent start. We have to hope we draw into Unmoored and our tools, but you know, drawing land is not what we wanted. We did go down a land. Doesn't seem to have mattered here, though. See if we're going to see the turn 3 Reclamation, as we always do. It's always great when our opponent doesn't have it, but it also seems that they always do. So if they don't have it, we get to name Reclamation and be very, very happy. At the very least, we do get to cast Uro and potentially Unmoored Ego. Although we probably should just Unmoored Ego and keep up the mana to pay for Dispute. Oh. Okay. Now we just get to do both. Two Nightpack Ambushers, huh? Two Nightpack Ambushers. I believe that's 4 negates and 4 Mystic Disputes. Well, they go ham on the counter spells. Next turn. Ooh, we could name Nightpack Ambusher here too. Which would leave them with just Shark Typhoon. It is pretty appealing to get this through, though. This is definitely a pivot point. I wonder what the perfect play is. So we could name Uro. We could name Nightpack Ambusher. We could name Expansion Explosion. I think we just named Nightpack Ambusher. Well, I hope I can continue to play Magic because... Okay, that did eventually go away. Alright, so we'll do this. Cool. So we won one game. It took 800 years. Part of why the game is getting irritating again, there are lots of reasons, but one of them is that there are no good aggro decks. Mardu Knights is about all there is, and as I described, it's going to have a really hard time cutting through the nightmare forest of Jund Sacrifice. So many blocks, so much incidental life gain. And that means all the games take 18 years. Which means you get to play 4, like, if you're an average person, in a given fucking day. And you win 2, you lose 2, and you go nowhere, which is what we're doing. And we play more than 4. Gosh, I don't feel like I learned a heck of a lot about this deck today. We did beat Reclamation, and we beat it 2-0. That was cool. We lost crushingly to a jank pile. That was uncool. We did get to use Unmoored Ego to some positive effect there. We'll probably play this one a couple more times and see if we can run into Cat and determine if Unmoored Ego naming Citadel is fast enough, or if it's not. If having the 4 casualties of war to destroy their enchantment and artifact are enough. They may not be enough. We may need Vraska in here somewhere. Does kill their enchantment and their Witch's Oven. Most of their permanents. Doesn't really do much against the Bant deck, though. This has been Gravity Groove for Not Safe for Work Magic. We're playing a little standard, and we're going to try at least a little bit more to see if we can figure out how to navigate our way through. Otherwise, if you just care about wins, I would highly recommend you just play Jund Sacrifice. Claim the Firstborn is extremely broken right now, and just climb your way up there. For now, we're going to keep trying to do it our way and failing catastrophically, because that's what we do here, man. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you later. Boom.